welcome. We're back slowly in the dark descent. Oh, here's where we left off.
There we go.
Almost perfect.
Almost perfect. This is Game & Watch. We are exploring the year 2010.
It's the year I graduated.
Is that right?
Indeed.
From high school, I assume.
Yes.
This week we are again in Amnesia, but we are Richie, we're moving on to Disney's The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Is this the Nicolas Cage one?
This is the Nicolas Cage one.
Hell yeah. Is he the sorcerer?
Yeah, he's the sorcerer of the title. Although you could also say that he was an apprentice because he was the apprentice of Merlin.
Ooh.
Way back in the day. This one is a stinker, Richie. I really hated this movie.
Oh no!
I'm coming out of the gate with that. Don't watch it. It's bad.
It's no Con Air?
Oh my god. Where to begin? This, I mean, so it's based on that thing from Fantasia with Mickey Mouse, and he's got the you know, where he's got the brooms going and stuff like that.
He makes the brooms dance.
And they do that, they do that scene in the movie. Like, Jay Baruchel is the titular sorcerer's apprentice. He's like, you know how fun it is to talk about the plot of a really dumb movie?
Boy, do I.
I guess that is kind of, that's the show.
I usually like Jay Baruchel.
He's great, and honestly, Nick Cage is not that bad in this movie. Like, as far as his performance goes, they kind of play up the fact that, like, oh, he's this like ancient sorcerer.
1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of
what are we digging for?
Remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right.
Okay.
But I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Oh lordy. I raided a tomb and now some bullshit is haunting me.
Okay. So Nick Cage is like this ancient sorcerer, so like he's kind of supposed to be a little like batshit. So it's like, well, okay,
Let him be Nick Cage.
Let him be Nick Cage. He doesn't go like full Nick Cage. He's actually for Nick Cage, he's actually playing it pretty straight. I hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg. This contract will reign for a total of 3 years, when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg, is recommended to my services at the Prussian royal court and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break this seal. Wilhelm, House of Garrick.
Alright.
Okay.
I don't know who Wilhelm is, but
It's Prussian.
he sure is Prussian.
He's crushing it, man. You know, Jay, I wouldn't put the faults of this movie on any of the performances in particular. This is script problems. This is production problems. This is directing issues. It's
17th of May, 1839.
this one kind of hurt
My
me,
hands
man.
tremble as I write. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the
Just like whatever we uncovered in this tomb.
The crudely carved passage.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice is haunting you as well.
It looked
Yes.
much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Oh no. You stuck listening to Trapped.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice of bands. Sorry, Trapped. I know you're big fans. You're big Game & Watch fans. Oh man, like where?
We can't be too far off in the amount of fans as them, right?
one of these days. It's just it has this feeling of I don't know how long this was after. I think this was a few years after the Pirates movie, the Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's like, oh, well, a really stupid idea worked out for a movie, like to turn a theme park ride into a movie. So let's take a thing we already own with the little Sorcerer's Apprentice short part of Fantasia, and turn it into a movie. So like, what's the issue with that? And the issue is. Oh, the issues are myriad, but the issue is they made the most boring played story from it. It's like, okay, Jared Baruchel is like the chosen one, and he's gotta be trained by a sorcerer to beat the big evil bad who is bent on destroying the world. It's the most boring thing. We've seen it 1,000 times, and 1,000 times we've seen it better than this. Just, ugh.
I feel like we're gonna see it 1,000 more times.
We are, but like, I mean, it's a story that can work. Like, one of my favorite, film series ever, maybe my favorite film series ever, is Lord of the Rings, and that's basically the thing of that. But it's like, this movie
Would have been better if Jay Baruchel was a hobbit.
maybe so. It would have been better if there was more like characters to play around with, like Lord of the Rings has, where there's there's just more. There's more to play around with. This ends up basically centering around these 4 dudes that are all so boring, and like there's like, they give you like little bits of potential of like having interesting folks in it, Like there's there's an ancient Chinese sorcerer that gets unlocked from this this set of Russian nesting dolls. There's a set of Russian nesting dolls that is keeping all these evil sorcerers trapped. So they get this guy out. He doesn't talk at all, and then he's got one scene and then he's gone. Like the first evil sorcerer to come out is Alfred Molina, and he's good. I mean, he's Alfred Molina, so he's not gonna not be good, but in terms of performance. But it's just like they also had potential to have the main villain in actuality is Morgana, like the evil sorceress in this, and so they had an opportunity to have a really cool female villain in a thing, and she's trapped in this Russian nesting doll for all but the first 3 minutes and the last 10 minutes of the movie. So the main villain of the movie really ends up being Alfred Molina and his sidekick, who's a stage magician, and they're just boring as hell. And Jay Baruchel is just this dorky physics nerd who ends up being the chosen one because I don't know. It doesn't. There's nothing interesting that they do in this thing. They play into just the most basic things, the safest options, and I'm was just really fed up with it by the end of it. I was mad at this thing for being so.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, that is my rage at this movie. I really with going back to the Seventh Son, that had a little bit of potential and had some cool designs and things going on and did a couple interesting things. This has almost nothing going on for it, and I really it's worse than Seventh Son. I mean, this is 8 out of 69 cats.
Ugh.
I could have given it even less if I was if I was feeling even more angry at it, but it's just
I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light.
Alright.
It was waiting for me.
Push yourself towards it, Richie.
I sure am.
Myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands.
Okay.
The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember.
Oh, I can't wait to see some impossible geometry.
Yeah. Try rendering that.
Some MC Escher shit in here.
Firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
You know, I just don't have much more to say about it. It's
Who directed it?
John Turteltaub, who did National Treasure.
Aw. That's disappointing.
Yeah. How do you feel about National Treasure?
I think it's fun. It's
I think
fine.
it's fun too. Okay, I'm glad to hear you say that. Yeah, this is significantly Like it doesn't even have that national treasure fun to it. Like I did actually find myself laughing a couple times in it,
You have to be swift when you activate the
which is
first
why
one.
it's not like three
You
cats.
hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Excessive? Who's talking to you?
Sounds like Clancy Brown.
Oh, Mr. Krabs?
Holy shit! I never realized he was Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh, that's life changing.
You're welcome.
Time to start a new church.
Oh, you know what? Jay Baruchel's like love interest in this, who is barely a character. She runs a like college radio station type deal, and it's actually ends up being a big plot point in the movie. That she plays a song and then he listens to it, and the song is "Secrets" by One Republic.
Some good choices of music in 2010, huh?
Yeah, it was very 2010, and and then he to like show that like, oh, I really do care. I was listening to your radio station. Like he later like plays that song in with his like Tesla coil.
Does he play a mean Tesla coil?
He plays a mean Tesla coil, man. It's so stupid. This movie sucks hard.
I think we got some backstory here.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Alstad and Brennenburg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Alstad, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brennenburg, where in the future Brennenburgers will be made. The quiet forest-clad mountains dressed with scattered lakes is as
Just like
picturesque as
Wahlburgers.
can be. Exactly like Wahlburgers. I wonder if those are any good for as far as burgers go. Anyways,
Sorry.
no worries. The story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. That's a long-ass time ago.
Yeah. Well, Prussia.
True. Well, this takes place in the 1800s.
Okay.
So-
The game does?
It does.
Oh, okay.
I think something was dated like 1839 earlier.
Oh, that you had written?
Yeah.
I see.
Note to self.
Yep. Daniel.
And when was the 30 Years' War?
1600s?
Okay. A couple hundred years difference. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Spooky. Bodies wrought by their tainted souls have them left them disfigured and empty of essence. What to do? They are called gatherers as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. So they're kind of like poachers, but ghost poachers.
My favorite kind.
Heinrich. Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Alstad at the start of the 16th century. During the he passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. What really happened? Who was the mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? Could it have been the immortal Baron? The Baron of Brennenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Alstad, and like most of those noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands, claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remain popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The Family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage, therefore the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never fully been recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle, along with the great leaders of this country.
Okay.
Fucking spooky!
Oh.
Give me that book.
Just throwing boxes. Oh. You're not taking that book with you?
I'll take this one.
Okay. Cool. How long can oh. Yeah, I mean that's all I've got for you, Sorcerer's Apprentice. Do better, please. Like, better movies can happen with stupid ideas. Like,
do you think there's going to be a sequel?
There's no way in hell that is happening. I didn't look up the, let me see what the budget and, like, oh, God, they spent $150 million making this piece of garbage.
How much did it make?
215. So I think the kind of rule that I've heard there is you want to make, like, twice your production budget back, and that's kind of what the like baseline for okay success is. Yeah. So it doesn't look like it. Thankfully, it doesn't look like it made enough for us to see more. It is currently on Disney Plus, where you can feel free to keep on ignoring it.
Just go on and pass it by.
You have lived all of your life without seeing the Sorcerer's Apprentice. I now have lived my life and have wasted an hour and 50 minutes watching this very stupid movie. Don't watch it. This has been Game & Watch. We'll be back next week with more Amnesia and more movies from 2010, hopefully that will at least be slightly better than The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Well, that's been swell. I've been Richie.
I have been Aaron. Let's keep this spookiness going next time.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to
We'll
for
leave
centuries.
after this
When the shadow arrives,
audio clip.
It won't take long.
Epilogue for the
Start falling apart.
episode, perhaps.
Just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble, and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Okay.
All right. Bye, folks.
See you next week.